letting a dangerous rider in the breakaway close on GC, leaving your race leader behind so he has to chase himself. Just terrible tactics today from Cofidis. 159 Ks. This is the tricky final stage of Arctic Race of Norway. It's got teams into trouble before. There's bonus seconds on offer. It's a hilly, steep little circuit. Hermans has lost it on the last day, as I said before. He's won it and nearly should have lost it on the last day last year. And it's Victor Lefay trying to defend his GC lead on Cofidis. He's got Axel Zongel as maybe his strongest rider, Perez. Zongel's going for some bonus seconds early. He started the day in 11th on GC, lost the jersey yesterday, and no one on Cofidis helped him, and he sort of paced himself. And Leknesund, the young Norwegian rider on DSM, was out for blood. He was trying to get in every break. He was trying to initiate every breakaway, and Cofidis really got worn out in break control or break formation. And Leknesund just not a guy you can allow in the break. You can let Globe talented ride, but you can let him go in the breakaway. And here Leknesund goes. He's on 36 seconds, I think, on GC to Lefay. He's won a Tour de Suisse stage this year. He's not like a 60-kilo rider. He's got an engine. And I think Zongel looks at him, thinks of chasing, and then goes, nah. And so this decision here, sorry if it's not Zongel, I think it was him. This decision now means Cofidis, who this reminded me a lot of Movistar Catalunya Stage 1 when they had Verona trying to chase a million moves. So it's not necessarily Zongel's fault. He's probably almost burnt out at that point. And Cofidis, they wanted to just wait for reinforcements to come back. But Legenson's now in the break. He's got help from Ver, I think, and Grelier, and the group that was dropped was coming back. But now the problem is that lack of break control. Letting someone like Legensson in the break means Cofidis have to chase and spend their entire team almost before the circuit for Victor Lefay. They got to spend Perez. And so they get to that circuit with this 1.5K, 8% nasty little climb. It's not the same circuit as last year, but it's had almost exactly the same chaos and carnage. In this last stage is always good. And look, what do you see here? Nothing. You don't see any Cofidis riders at the front as they enter the circuit. I think this might be the first or second time they go up the climb, and that's because they've already been spent. So Thomas Globe is like, I'll go if you don't mind. I think he's leaving Trinity this year. Really talented rider, was good in Lavernier last year. Gets in a move, but that move doesn't go anywhere, but it's just a sign of things to come. Cofidis couldn't really react to it. Bike Exchange were kind of reacting to it. Arkea, I think Ver was dropped at that point. They got Volkner second on GC, and then Conchi goes. He was signed to the dev team at Alpecin. I don't know if he's been extended to the proper Pro Conti or World Tour team next year. He definitely deserves to be. He attacks. Again, no reaction from Cofidis because Lefay's like, this is like with like 25 Ks plus to go. 3 Alpecin riders get in the breakaway. Osborne, Sparagli, and look who is also in there. Axel Zongel, who's 11th on GC, goes with the move, which is fine. It's fine he goes with the move. Ugo Uhl is here too. Tres de Puta. Uhl's on 9 seconds on GC. Conchi's on 19 seconds. So 2 riders ahead of Zongel on GC in the group, and they're not far behind Lefay. And there's also Leknesund, who's still 35 seconds up the road, and they're not making any inroads into him. So, and then now Victor Lefay, with I think another 1.5 reps up this climb to go, is having to close moves, and there's a descent, there's a flat section, and he's the best puncher in the race. But if he's having to spend before that final climb, he himself runs the risk of being attacked. So Zongel leaves the GC leader with a group with riders ahead of him on GC. Lefay is looking around like, where's my teammates? Well, one's up the road, and the rest, I think, were dropped. They had to work to chase Leknesund all day. And so he's also, I mean, Intermarché and Israel, they tried a little bit, but I would have thought they would have kept, they did here, but I would have thought they would have rained attacks over and over and over on Lefay, and some did come, and he's basically had to rely on Volkler. He's a strong rider, but he's relying on Volkler and Arkea, second on GC, to pull, while Zongel sits on up the road. And it's fine for Zongel to get in the group. That's fine. And I'm not even blaming him because there was enough time. This wasn't with like 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers to go. There was enough time to realize and for the directors to say, drop back. You need to go and pull that group behind for Victor Lefay, who'd lose out like 3, 4, 5 maybe GC positions by a handful of seconds. And you can see there wasn't much impetus in this group he was in for a lot of the time. It's like 20 Ks to go. And then he's having to pull himself. So his attacks would be a bit nerfed on the final climb. Just a pretty big mess, particularly when for Axel Zongel, and well, unfortunate for Jason Osborne, who has a mechanical, so that ruins his GC, but Conchi, everyone should have known he's dropping everybody in this group on this final climb. It was really steep. Drops to Pota, who he gets dropped, and he goes back to pool 4. Quinton Herman's GC. And meanwhile, with all this chaos back behind, I know Hugo Ull's doing exactly the right thing, trying to move up on GC. Conchi breaks clear. No one ever brings back Legnesund. He had an 11-second gap over the top of the final climb. After getting the break, incredible performance from him. He rides away thinking he's going for just the stage, but he's actually able to take a big enough gap on the Lefay group to win the overall GC. Conchi, I think, moves up into third. Hugo Ull into second. Lefay goes from first to fifth. Now Zongl, and he's pulling here, and I think Depota was helping him for Quinton Hermans. But I'm telling you, if Zongl had dropped back, he would have gained enough time, I think, the Lefay group to at least finish second, and maybe even, I think he lost by 15 seconds to Leknesund. Definitely he would have finished ahead of Ull and Conchi. And I hear what you're saying already, probably saying, well, it is UCI points relegation battle. No, they gained 185 points. Zongl was moving up anyway, so him staying in the group ahead has gained net virtually no UCI points at all, even if you're telling me that Lefay would have finished at best second or third. So even from a points perspective, I don't agree that this was like the optimal strategy to move Zangl up into fourth, and it's also ruled out any possibility of Lefay winning GC, and Cofidis are like 1,000 points ahead, so, and I'm not even sure that was on their mind anyway, but Ull and his group are caught somewhere in the middle. There's no moto on, or in between them and Conchi. They finished just behind the Alpecin rider, and Leknesund would lose a fair bit in that final stretch. He's running out of steam, but still manages to hold on. Takes the 10 bonus seconds. Takes, I think, 35 full seconds on the line to the Lefay group as well. A huge heist from the Norwegian, getting in the break to take GC. You rarely see something like that. Conchi just holds on to take second, plus the 6 bonus seconds as well. And Zongl starts sprinting. Now, he has to at this point because he has to take the bonification away from Hugo Ull and I think Max Poole, the DSM rider, behind him, but that also means that Hugo Ull gets dragged a little bit quicker, maybe gains a second in the slipstream. He gets given the same time as Zongl, and we're looking back, and it's the Victor Lefay led, well, it was led group with Kevin Vogelan, who's a nice rider as well, as we saw at Tour of Oman. But those guys, rough day for them. And Spiragli says to Bax, like, hello, rookie, welcome to the barriers to Alpecin. A lot of weird stuff. In August, contracts are up, guys coming up from dev team, down dev team, but a bit of a shambles from Cofidis today. They should have called Zangl back. He should have pulled for Lefay, and maybe he would have held on to GC. At least one of them would have finished on the podium. And here you can just see how tight it was. Lefay finishing 15 seconds after Leknesund, who wins ahead of Ull on 8, then Conchi 9, Zangl 14 seconds, Vogelan on 22 seconds. A nice points haul regardless for Cofidis and Israel. But hope you enjoyed the video. It was brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Check out the link below for 83% off and 3 extra months using code ROUGE. Got the Vuelta coming up on Friday. I'll have daily recap videos for that. And so I'll see you then. Ciao.